Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I definitely have a really good piece for you. I am going to be working on cardboard. This is actually just a thin layer of cardboard, but one of those pieces that you would get from if you're using a picture frame or something like that. You will find this at the back of it, or a certificate to protect it. One of those type of cardboard. It's an A5, like a regular copy sheet size, and I'll be doing water painting with my hand dandy watercolor pencils. Alright, so I'll be doing this beautiful piece. As you can tell, I've already outlined it and inked it, and I wanted to see what the colors would be like on this. Hey, check my hairstyle out. This is actually real. I've locked it for about 2 years now. Yes, and loving it. Well, actually, let me give you a quick turn so you can see my hairdo. That was quite slow. Alright, so let's get right into the art. Alright everyone, so here I am back with a voiceover just while I'm inking this. I actually started using the Studio pen, however, for inking. However, I did not like how it was on the cardboard. It seemed as if it was not clear enough in terms of it was just patchy, and I had to go over it multiple times in order to get a nice smooth look. So I changed and I used the Prisma color. It's kind of a nice soft tip, like a brush tip. So it works very well on the cardboard. The cardboard wasn't rough nor anything like that. It was just that the tip for the Studio was a little bit too fine for this type of material. I did enjoy inking it with the Prisma, and I love how vibrant it is and it looks on the cardboard. As you can tell, the paper soaks up nicely the ink, so it seems as if it has an instantaneous kind of a dry to it. So if you put your hands over or just touched it right after inking, you wouldn't smudge nor anything. That's because the ink for the Prisma was really, really good, and it soaked up right into the cardboard. So I really do like using this kind of material. All right, here I am trying the water pen on the cardboard. What I tried first was to do the wet the cardboard, and then do wet on dry on wet, sorry, or kind of brush the pencils with the pen to get that kind of a light effect. Or I tried to blend it out first. Let's see if I can get a nice skin color using the peach and a little bit of white, and then I'm going to try and use the darker colors. I first tried using the blended shade first, however it was pretty light because the cardboard is a bit darker. So what happened is that the colors were not taken well, so I had to go in with a darker color and make her skin a little bit deep brownish. So I used most of the burgundy and like cherry red and brown just to get her skin in a different shape from the cardboard. With that said, it takes a lot of patience to actually do watercolor. So tip number one for everyone who wants to do watercolor, make sure you have the right pen or brush tip to use, because I'm using a small one here. So, and I'm covering a good amount of surface, so that takes a lot of time and patience if you want it to come out really good. With that said, the cardboard soak up the pigments really nice. However, I had to go it over a couple times just to make sure that all the area of the cardboard was covered for the face area. Because the brush is so small, will tend to miss little patches because it's brown too, so it blends like evenly with the skin. You won't see like white space, but because it's brown, it blends nicely with the brown. So you want to ensure that all the brown is covered when you're doing the face. I'm trying to do a little bit of blush on her cheeks. As you notice, I will probably go it over again and again just to make sure that looking at it, the cardboard itself, it's kind of a grain to it, almost like a canvas. So looking at it from the camera's lens, you won't really see it, but when you're working on it, you will actually see that there is like grooves and so forth that you actually need to get into to in order to cover the material properly. As I mentioned, you got to use the right brush because that was my mistake. And probably a little bit lazy, didn't want to go for the other brushes. But the experiment is to use the water brush and see what it would, how it would work, and so forth. So I ended up wetting the hooded part of it first because I knew it was going to be a little bit more challenging and a lot more area to cover. So for the first half of it was pretty slow. I don't like using the pencils for larger projects because the pencils just have a little bit of product on the tip, which takes a lot more time to get off. Because if I'm gonna dab the pencil tip in order to get the colors, it's gonna take forever. So mistake number two, if you're gonna use the pencil, be prepared to spend a lot more time on it as opposed to using the pigment from an open source container. That is a lot better and bigger brushes. Okay, so I wetted hoping that it would spread a lot more. What I found is that, as you can tell, if you look really good, there are certain groove spots that are a little bit, you can see the cardboard, but it doesn't show because it's wet, which is really nice. So it kind of gives it that two-tone kind of a hooded look, which is pretty cool. So if you were looking for a wet project, this would look really nice. However, it's going to dry, and when it dries, you will see that the pigment did not spread quite as nicely as I wanted it to. But I think if we had used a different type of ink, when I mean ink, I mean like color sorry, color palettes, you would see the spread a little bit more, but the pens would take forever to actually fill these areas. So I had to go it over and over and over and over, and probably got frustrated at the end. So I ended up using the pencil itself, which I had to soak the pencil a bit, like dip the ends in water, and then try and rub it on the canvas. You do want to be very careful too as well, because when I did wet the pencil tip and try to shade it myself with a pencil, I find that the cardboard was actually like ripping. So because it's wet before, and then the pencil tip might be too sharp for it. So you kind of want to watch that too as well. So if you're gonna be impatient using the pencils, forget about it and just use the open palette. Um, but overall, apart from learning patience doing this project, I did enjoy coloring this piece. She looks pretty, very nice. Looking at her from the camera lenses, she does look good with the hoodie. I think this is one of the better pieces of with a person's face in terms of like covering I've done, which is really nice. It's simple, but it's good. So here I am doing a wet and then dabbing on the pencil. I find that I kind of run out of patience at this point doing the hood because it takes forever. Half of it I've cut out because it was just too long. So here I am shading it with a pencil and trying to get the best effect that I can. I ended up getting a couple tones using going over it in different areas like dark and light, and using a little bit of the deep cherry red that I used on her pom-pom, and kind of trying to get some kind of a dirty stain effect. Like she has been working, and not like a hobo, but kind of a look that she has been places with this hoodie has been worn, and it's a favorite because it's got couple stains and dirty marks and so forth. And she loved it, right? It's like Red Riding Hood, but she's working, hard working Red Riding Hood. Well, Green Riding Hood. Okay, whatever. Enough of the joking. But yes, however, for the front part, I think it was more of my impatience with the green, but it turned out not too bad.